All right, the next ones here are polynomial long division problem type 1. There is one of the problems you have. I see you have the quotient correct and the remainder incorrect, so I think you just forgot to subtract, but I am going to go ahead and work through that over here. So if I go here on my scratch paper, you were doing 3x plus 4. You were dividing it into 15x squared plus 35x plus 21. And so you said, okay, what do I take times 3x to get 15x squared? Well, 3 goes into 15 5 times. Since I have an x, but I need an x squared, I need another x up here. So I say that 5x times 3x is 15x squared. Those should match up. I also have to take my 5x times my positive 4, which is a positive 20x. My next step here is that I'm going to do subtraction. If it's a positive, I'm going to change it to a negative. If it's a negative, I would change it to a positive. So I am going to subtract this. I am also going to subtract this, which cancels that out. 35 minus 20 is 15x, and I bring down my plus 21. So what times 3x gave me 15x? Well, 3 times 5 again is 15. It's a positive 5. I need to put that sign there. So 5 times 3 is 15x. 5 times 4 is positive 20. And then I have to subtract. I'm not sure how you got your 7. I'm going to subtract both of these. 21 minus 20 is just 1. So my remainder ended up being 1. If I go to the next one here, let me bring the next one up here. We have x plus 6. We are dividing it into 6x squared plus 42x plus 32. Again, I think you've got the process mostly right because I can see your quotient is correct. It's the remainder you're having trouble with. So if we work this out, what times x gives me 6x squared? Well, I would have to take this times a 6 and an x. 6x times x is my 6x squared. I also take my 6x times my 6, which is a positive 36x. I then end up having to subtract. So I make this negative, I make this negative, I cancel that out. 42 minus 36 is 6, so I'm going to have 6x plus 32 that I'm going to bring down. What times x gives me 6x? Again, in this case, it's a positive 6, so I'm just going to bring down my plus 6. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 6 is 36. And then I have to remember that I'm going to subtract. So make that negative and that negative. That cancels out. 32 minus 36 is negative 4. So my remainder should be negative 4. So 32 minus 36 gave me that negative 4, which is my remainder. If I look at one more here, the next one that we have was x plus 5, and we're dividing that into x squared plus 2x minus 14. So in this case, what times x gave me x squared? You said it was just a plain x. X times x is x squared. X times 5 is plus 5x. Again, we have to subtract, so we're going to subtract that and subtract that, which cancels that out. 2 minus 5 would be negative 3x minus 14. So in this case, what times x gives me negative 3x? I have to have a negative 3 up here. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times a positive 5 is a negative 15. I then subtract. When I subtract, I change my signs. So this becomes positive, this becomes positive, that cancels out. 14 or negative 14 plus 15 then is positive 1. So my remainder is 1. And so I get x minus 3 with a remainder of 1. This one looks like here you just had a plus 2 instead of getting negative 3. And so go back and check your work on that one.